HaveTravel-Memories YouTube show. You might have noticed on your screen that there are some people that look like they might be related. Well, that's because HaveTravel-Memories is actually a family that is also a travel agency. The Haverfields are nice enough to, every single time we do one of these episodes, make me an honorary Haverfield and making me part of the Have Travel family. And I'm really thrilled to be able to talk to you guys about travel, a thing that we've all been looking forward to ever since that darn pandemic made travel not really possible for a while. But things are changing. And today we're going to be talking about a really, really cool thing. You're going to see on the screen a flyer for something called the Holy Land Classic. And we're going to be talking about traveling to Israel, something you're going to be able to do very, very soon. And today we have a special guest, someone who has been to Israel and can talk to us about the amazing sights that you're going to get to see. His name is Steve Franco. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, you live in the Destin area, it's because he is the guy who founded Beachworks. They are a really, really cool place where you can actually rent office space, if you don't have an office of your own. Not that this is turning into a commercial for Beachworks. He hasn't slipped me his check just yet, but Beachworks is a really, really cool place where you can go if you need to get office space. He's also a part of Rodos Realty. So in other words, he knows land and property, and land like the Holy Land. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you guys, the experts, start to talk about this. I am super fascinated to hear about the Holy Land and what HaveTravel-Memories has for people coming up, being able to travel there. So Haverfields, not Haverfield, you guys take it away.
Well, thank you, Paul. Stephen actually rents an office space to have travel. So that's how we know Stephen. So we're here today to talk to you about this 10-day Holy Land Classic. It's March 1st through the 10th, 2022. So we're going to turn the time over to Stephen for now and let him tell you a little bit about what he's going to do. He is actually the group leader. Jason is the tour leader, and Stephen will be the group leaders. So let's give Stephen a chance to tell us about what he knows about Israel and why he's looking forward to leading this Holy Land Classic tour.
Thank you, Jodo. Thank you very much. And it's great to be with everybody. I'm super excited about the opportunity to lead folks to go visit Israel. It's a once in a lifetime experience for anybody. It's the Holy Land, and it's sacred to whether you're Jewish, of my faith. I'm from a Jewish background, Christian, Muslim. It's the center of religion, as we all know, for the three major religions in the world. And being in the real estate business for 27 years, I can tell you in the retail business, location, location, location. That is what I would tell you about Israel. It's strategic in many different levels. The trip will be geared around certainly seeing many of the holy sites, the things we've all read about in the Old Testament. For Christians that read the New Testament, there's going to be some incredible places that we go to in and around Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and others that have incredible history and impact to all of us. There are other aspects of Israel which are modern day make it an incredible place where you've got the only real democracy in the Middle East. So you've got a British-style parliamentary type government. You've got a military that is the largest institution in a democracy, which makes it interesting. You've got a modern city like Tel Aviv that abuts the historical religious places like Jerusalem. It's just this incredible, diverse place. Tech business-wise, Israel is one of the leading technology centers in the world. So there's just so many cool aspects to what makes Israel an interesting place to visit. I can just tell you, I spent time there myself personally. In high school, I was there for about 17 days with my family on a family trip. And then I followed back up with that to go to Israel for a semester abroad when I was in college. And I spent about 6 months over there at Tel Aviv University. As I mentioned to many of you, I'm Jewish by faith, and I grew up in a Jewish background and bar mitzvah, confirmed. I learned to read and write Hebrew and speak Hebrew. So culturally and religiously, I've got strong ties to Israel. And I can just tell you, it doesn't matter whether you're Jewish, Christian, or what have you. it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You will never have another chance to really see a place like this. So I look forward to having you guys join us and see all these great places.
Well, thank you,
Fantastic.
Stephen. Jason, do you have a few things you'd like to add?
Yeah, so if you have watched our other Have Travel YouTube show that we did with Elissa from ETS Travel, you might recall that we have teamed up with ETS Travel, and they are a faith-based travel company, and they put together religious tours in many places throughout the world, but the Holy Land is one that they started with, and that they're probably the most recognized for. So this tour that we are putting together in 2022, which will be leaving on March 1st, we have a customized flyer put together that we can send digitally. It has all the information about the 10 days that we'll be on this trip. It's an all-inclusive package that you can see in the flyer that starts at $35.48 from New York. There are options when it comes to booking your flights, but all this information can be found within the flyer. I was just going to just quickly mention some of the things that we are going to be seeing on this Holy Land Classic Tour for these 10 days. We will, if you buy the package deal, we'll fly out of New York City straight into Tel Aviv, and the tour begins in the Galilee. We see Cana, Nazareth, Caesarea, the Mount of Olives, Jerusalem and Bethlehem. We see Nazareth, Jerusalem and the Old City again, and then we do have a leisure day where we will see, you have the option to see Masada and the Dead Sea, and then another day back in Jerusalem. So just in a nutshell, those are the places that we will be visiting. There are 2 hotels that we'll be staying in. There is the Caesar Premier Hotel in Tiberias for 3 nights, and then there is also the Olive Tree Hotel in Jerusalem for 4 to 5 nights, depending on when your departing flight is. So all the information, which airlines you can use, all of that can be found. I can be emailed at jason.haverfield@gmail.com, which we'll have in the description link. And you can come to me personally to get this flyer and get this information. On the flyer, it does talk about a $300 deposit per person, which is required, and final payments will be due in November of 2021. So just a brief overview of what can be expected on this Holy Land Classic Tour. There are other videos that we have done that talks about them more in detail. And the other thing that I'd mention is that we will be having a webinar on June 8th at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. We will get together, and some of it will be virtual, and those that live in this area will be meeting in person. And we'll have a more detailed webinar event describing this Holy Land Classic Tour that has been set up for us. So there is a lot to look forward to. It's going to be Jelaine and I and Steven that will be personally on this tour. I would like to mention that Jelaine and I are scheduled to go on this tour in December of this year as a familiarization tour. Whereas travel agents, we will go and experience this tour firsthand. We'll see most of what's going to be seen next March. And then for those that are preparing to go and that will be on the trip, we'll be able to share more of our own experience, our testimony, our own pictures, to bring together the excitement of the March 2022 tour. So we're looking forward to that. Anything else that I'm missing, Jelaine or Juriel?
I just want to tell you guys too that, for anybody that ever has concerns, sometimes traveling over the Middle East and stuff like that, Israel is an exceptionally safe place to be. Very safe country, very little crime of any kind. And like I said, it's a westernized democracy. So for anybody who's never been over there, maybe in different parts of the Arab world and stuff like that, maybe a little different, but in Israel, it is very safe, and you shouldn't have any concern whatsoever. I think that's important to mention. That was all I was going to say there.
Yeah, ETS Travel, like I said, they've been around since 1974, and they do an amazing job. From the research that I've done, they are very well put together. We will be staying in 4-star hotels, and our transportation, our food, and pretty much all of our comforts that will be on air-conditioned buses. Everything is completely taken care of for us. This is a scheduled trip, but is going to be an experience that we'll never forget. That the tour guides and the people that will be in Israel taking care of us they live there. This is what they do, and they're extremely knowledgeable on the area. And so we'll we will really gain quite an experience and an education. And as well as learning from Steven as one of the tour leaders, he'll be able to share with us things that he knows in his experience. So there will be a lot to see and experience and to bring home with us. This is going to be a fantastic trip that we're really looking forward to.
Yes, and ETS is so well versed and personally experienced on Israel. All of their employees, part of their training is they have to actually live over there for several months. They own the hotels. They employ the concierges that run the hotels, that greet us when we get there and act as our own personal concierges. They are personally trained by ETS, and the customer service, from what I understand, the entire time you're there, whatever needs you have, if there's anything in particular you want to do that may not be on the exact itinerary, every effort is made to help you to achieve that. And there is travel insurance as well, so you don't have to worry about that. We can help you with that. I know that ETS had several groups over there right when the pandemic started, and they had to quickly get people back to the United States before air travel was shut down, and it went very, very smooth. And they said that all of their guests who returned back to the States after that little harrowing experience, not one of them asked for a refund. They all just booked the next trip out. They're going to be on the first trip back to Israel. So that speaks a great deal for the value in this experience. And like Steven said right from the beginning, this is an experience of a lifetime. And I hear more people that have been there. I'm surprised. I'm constantly running into people that have already been there. This is something that I managed to miss in my 30 years of travel, but everybody says that this is a life-changing event and a trip of a lifetime. So I think it's something that we can definitely look forward to and be very proud to host and present this trip. And we're so excited to have Steven and his personal experience. In fact, the other day, Steven, I was talking to you at the office, and you told me the story of Masada.
Yep.
The way you told it, it was incredible. Would you mind telling that real quick?
So Masada is an interesting place, and that's on our itinerary. The historical significance is that, and most people that go to Israel do go to Masada, it's one of the places to go, is that historically it was a place where the Jews fought off the Romans until their death, till the Romans took over. They were at the top of a mountain being fired on the top of a mountain, and they basically fought the Romans until they committed mass suicide before being overcome and taken by the Romans. This is ancient history. In modern day Israel, in my experience many, many years ago when I was there, was as I told you, the Israeli Defense Forces, the military is one of the largest institutions in the country. All people serve, all men, all women, and the men serve throughout their adult life. Anyway, when they finish their basic training, they end, the young soldiers end with a run up Masada, which is a difficult track in of itself. And at the very end of it, they chant in Hebrew, and I can't remember how to say it in Hebrew now, but it's like never again, never again, never again. And it's really powerful because, as you know, Israel's about the size of New Jersey, sitting in a very tough part of the world, and Israel has always got their defenses up and are careful and so forth. So the underlying meaning of that and what it means to Israelis and how they finish their training and stuff, it's pretty impactful when you see it and see it in person. But it's an interesting place that many people go to and see.
Yes, and he's right. Masada is definitely a big part of this tour. When I get to go, I have to stay home and man the office this time. So I won't be on this trip, but I know that I will have opportunities to host other trips. And I'm looking forward to that and hearing all about your experience when you get back. And I'm looking forward to our webinar coming up June the 8th. And we will let you know more about that later. The time it will start is at 6 o'clock Central Time. We will be posting that. You will be able to get all the information on that. That will be a in-person as well as a virtual event. So if you happen to be in the Destin area where our office is located, we'd love to have you come. And if not, or even if you're in Destin and still want to just join in on the webinar, you're welcome to do that. So we expect to have quite a few visitors at that event, and stay tuned. We'll be posting a little bit more about it as we get closer to June 8th. And we have more things planned between now and the time that we leave in March. So Paul, you want to wrap it up?
Wrap it up. I was too interested in hearing you guys talk, but okay, if I must. So here's the thing. Here's what you can do right now. If you're interested in the Holy Land Classic Tour, as I always tell you at the end of every one of these videos, make sure you go to HaveTravel-Memories.com. That is the website. You can also see more information about the tour itself. You can contact these wonderful people to find out more about the tour or other tours should you want to go somewhere else. It's very simple. And of course, as Jason mentioned, his email address, again, right here, because I don't remember it, but it will be printed on the screen so you don't have to hear me say it out loud. It will also be in the description below, and he will send you that flyer, that pamphlet, so that you can know more about this awesome trip. You'll also be having a lot of fun with Steve. Steven sounded really knowledgeable about all this, right? So you're going to be able to ask him questions in person when you go on this thing. So I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. We're going to always be coming out with more episodes talking about really cool things you can do to travel around this great world of ours. And until next time, I am Paul Stadden. These are the Haverfields. That was Steven Franco, and I hope that you have a lot of fun. Oh, one more thing. Do subscribe and like the video if you don't mind. Please don't make me beg. It really helps us out if you actually hit like. We know then we can make more videos like this, okay? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it very much. All right, see you guys, and I hope you have a great until
Thanks
next
so much,
time.
Paul.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.